The Bank of Japan has officially announced that its economy is back on track. The tone of the language is the strongest since March 2008, when the central bank described the economy as expanding moderately. I have Flemming Nielsen, senior analyst at Danske Bank in Copenhagen, on the line. So Flemming, what are your thoughts on the statements made today?
Yeah, that also reflects my view. GDP growth has been strong in the first half of this year, and even though growth will probably slow a little bit, I expect to see the relatively strong recovery to continue here in the coming months. So I would even say that I think that the statement expanding moderately is a little bit of an understatement at the moment. What we're actually seeing in Japan is a quite strong recovery, at least for now.
And in terms of market reactions, are we seeing anything particular?
Really not substantial market reaction. We have seen the yen weaken a little bit. It was briefly above 100 against the US dollar. And it was actually not the statement from the meeting that was the main market focus. There was more focus on the press briefing from Board Governor Kuroda after the statement, with a lot of discussions, particularly about the impact from the planned consumption tax hike next year and how possible Bank of Japan would respond to it. And at that press briefing, Kuroda opened up that if growth slows next year in the wake of the fiscal tightening, they will stand ready to possibly even ease monetary policy even more aggressively. And for that reason, there was a bit of a yen weakness after the press briefing.
And Flemming, what sort of figure are you expecting to see in the second preliminary Q2 GDP data, which is due out on September 9th?
I think we will see the second quarter GDP numbers be revised substantially higher for the second quarter. The first estimate was 2.6% quarter-on-quarter annualized growth. I think it could be as high as 3.5% in the first revision. And this number is actually very important, particularly at the current stage, because we are having this discussion in the government. Are we going to raise the consumption tax next year and tighten fiscal policy? And I think that with this very strong GDP number likely to be revised higher, I think that the implication will probably be that the government will make the decision in early October to raise the consumption tax as planned next year.
And Flemming, before I let you go, what else should we be keeping an eye out for?
Certainly, what they're going to do about the consumption tax is the most important decision we will have to make in Japan in the near term. Otherwise, I think we should keep a close eye on inflation in general. I think that's other major uncertainty in Japan. The Bank of Japan has been a bit ridiculed about its ambitions to reach its 2% inflation target in 2 years. Actually, inflation have increased more than expected in recent months, and we actually now cannot completely rule out that it will be possible for Bank of Japan to reach its inflation target within 2 years. So that's the second major uncertainty here in the coming weeks and coming months. Should we start to be more concerned about inflation actually in Japan, and could that be an argument maybe for even scaling down monetary easing in Japan earlier than we expected?
Thank you very much, Flemming, for that. As always, it's been a pleasure. Well, viewers, that is it for right now, but do stay tuned to Dukascopy TV, and tomorrow I will be bringing you the press review. See you then.